Your life is worth more than you think. But a deeper realization of this fact begins with you asking yourselves the right questions. Now, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what is the purpose for life? And I'm certain that many of you, millions of you across the world, at some point of your life, if not now, you've asked yourself this question. Well, I want to put something to you. And what I want to put to you is, what is the reason for life, if not to master yourself, serve others at the highest level, and experience life, not in lack, not in limitation, not in doubts, and not in fear, but experience life abundantly. Now, if your life does not reflect any of these three concepts, self mastery, service at the highest level, and abundance, it means that something is seriously wrong with your life. You see, some people are blessed to rise to the occasion to master their sense of self. Now, why is this important? The reality is that people can never grow beyond the sense of self. You rise and you fall based on your sense of self. So you owe it to yourself to commit the time, talent, and the resources to learn what is the sense of self and to master your sense of self. It's important. Some people are lucky enough to have the sense of self, the springboard of life. You see, some people are also blessed to learn, apply, and master the sense of self, but they also have a strong sense of service. Now, to come to that point, to have a strong sense of service is transformational. And let me tell you why. You see, when you give yourself in service, lose yourself in service, it is the only way to find purpose and self fulfillment in life. But it goes even deeper because when you give yourself in service and lose yourself in service, it is more than knocking on the heaven's door. When that door opens, you're literally sowing seeds that is opening the doors of heaven that is going to position you to experience life abundantly. You see, we'll go deeper into this as we go deeper into Vision Valley University manuals. But let me get back to the point. Some people are blessed to master the sense of self. So you have one of the three concepts that you need to exercise mastery over your life. Some people are blessed to know what is purpose and how to live from purpose. And because you understand these two things, you're able now to experience the abundance of life. But I want to say this to you. While there are some that have a strong sense of self, there are some that have a strong sense of purpose, and there are some that experience abundance, where you have healthy and long-lasting relationships, you have connections, you have intellectual competence, and you have financial wealth, you experience all of these abundance. Kudos to you. You see, some people just have one of this talent. Some people have two, and some people have all three. But here it is. There's some people who have none. You don't have a strong sense of self. you don't have a strong sense of purpose and you're not positioned to experience life abundantly. And that is why I say that something is wrong, seriously wrong with your life. And I want to show you that we at Vision Valley University, we want to position you to not only know what is vision, but to position you to apply vision to fix these situations in your life. So you can come to that point to exercise mastery over your life, to apply servant driven leadership, and to experience the abundance of life. You see, when you master self and serve others at the highest level, you are literally and figuratively knocking on the doors of heaven. And when those doors open, and believe me, they will open when you apply the concepts the right way, you will begin to experience personal and professional growth. You will experience quality in relationships. You will experience real influence, and you will experience happiness, health, and wealth, including financial wealth. But I must say this, before the doors of heaven opens for you to experience heavenly blessings on earth, you must master your sense of self and you must serve at the highest level. Now, as I begin to wrap up today's program, I want to put a number of important questions that I want you to ask yourself. What does it take to know and master who you are? And this is something that you need to commit the time, talent, and resources to truly understand what it takes to know yourself and what it takes to master who you are. You see, if you don't commit the time, talent, and resources to understand that, the heavens of blessing that is stored up for you will not be released in your life. At Vision Valley University, Best Life Ministry Global Capital Inc., we have built these theses out to really help you to transform your life. The next question that I want you to ask yourself is, what does it take to serve others at the highest level? You see, you can't give what you don't have. You can't serve at the highest level if you have not yet commit to know who you are and to master who you are. Because when you know who you are and you master who you are, you can align your gifting to serve the world. You can't serve at the highest level if you don't fix the very first concept, mastering who you were born to be. The last question I want you to ask yourself is, what does it take to experience heavenly blessings here on earth? I repeat, what does it take to experience heavenly blessings on earth? You don't have to wait until you get to heaven to experience the joy and happiness and excitement and to have highly motivated for life itself. Now, to answer these questions in a more deeper fashion, how to master yourself, how to serve others at the highest level, and how to position yourself to build wealth, I now want to introduce my book titled Pathways of Influence, Timeless Processes to Build Wealth. Now, pathways of influence is saying to you that they are pathways to attain, apply, and master influence in your life. So the book title is Pathways of Influence. The subtitle is Timeless Processes to Build Wealth. So let us go just a little bit into these concepts. As you get the book and you begin to study the book at Vision Valley University, there are four important pathways of influence that you need to commit the time, talent, and resources to understand. And you need to figure out, we will give you the tools to make that happen, and that is how to make these concepts a living, active energy source in your life. Now, pathway one is what we call the first degree of influence, and this is influence over yourself. We will go deeper into this pathway, and I already explained why it is important. Pathway two is the second degree of influence, and this is influence over your social environment. And why this is important? Because you rise and fall on relationship too. There's a number of things that you rise and fall on. You rise and fall on habits, you rise and fall on leadership, you rise and fall on relationships. This book goes deep into those concepts to ensure that you don't have to guess your way through life. You don't have to guess in your way through starting and scaling your 6, 7, 8, and 9 figure brand. We give you a roadmap. You don't have to guess your way to start a mega ministry. We give you a blueprint. We give you pathways. Pathway three is a third degree of influence, and this is influence with the family. How important is this? This is exceptional. But do you know how to position your competence, your gifting, your strengths to have influence in all of these areas of your life? So everything that we have discussed above, you have all of that and so much more in my book, Pathways of Pathways of Influence, Timeless Processes to Build Wealth. So you will understand these four pathways, but above understanding these four pathways, and the last pathway is pathway four, the fourth degree of influence, this is influence over your professional life. You will also learn timeless processes to build wealth. And here is where we do a deep dive into wealth building systems. You see, the majority of the people in the world, you understand or you have some fleeting understanding of money and how money works. But what this initiative, this book will do is really help you to understand things that you really need to understand to start positioning yourself to build wealth. So, timeless processes to build wealth will help you to understand what is the wealth IQ and what is the wealth EQ. IQ, EQ, IQ, EQ. Now, IQ is going to help you to understand capital markets, financial markets, how to access capital markets, how to leverage capital markets, and how to mitigate financial markets. And I promise you that you owe it to yourself to commit yourself to understand this body of knowledge. And let me give you a brief example why. You see, many of you invest in your home, which is perhaps the single most important investment that most people are going to make in their entire life, their home. But the method of approach that you use to invest in that home, you invest in it more as a liability as against it being an asset. But I'm going to say this to you. When you understand capital portfolio, when you understand capital market access, capital market leverage, and capital market mitigation, you will have a completely different perspective as to how you position yourself as an investor. You all are investor. You are either doing good at investing or lousy at investing in your life and in building wealth. Second, you will understand what is the wealth EQ. The wealth EQ is how you bring emotional intelligence to wealth. You see, there are many persons who are positioned for success. But that success seems as though it has a strong hold on it. It's not being fully released. It's not being released because you have not yet learned how to be a blessing to others. You know that you want to be blessed, but you're only seeing the blessing in singularity. You have to be positioned to see blessing in plurality because you're blessed to be a blessing. And when you understand this fundamental, that is how to be a blessing, wealth EQ, something shift. All right. Your awareness shift and something spectacular begins to happen as you set the stage to build wealth. Now, I want to pause here a little bit. But when you come into Vision Valley University, when you become part of our movement to touch and transform lives, movement to empower people to come into their greatness, movement to help people to build wealth, all of this and so much more is going to be revealed to you. These concepts I want to say is relevant to you whether you are in business, whether you have a ministry, whether you're in politics, or whether you want to live and lead a better quality of life. The concepts that I'm sharing with you is relevant across this ecosystem. So let me conclude on how I started this program. Let me conclude on today's program. We started today's program by simply saying that you're worth more than you think. All right. And you will begin to recognize that when you start asking yourself the right question. And who are you? What's your purpose in life? And I clearly established so you don't have to speculate or guesstimate about this. What is the reason for life if not to master yourself, if not to serve at the highest level, and if not to experience life abundantly? So you have three reasons now for life and living. You want to master yourself, you want to serve others at the highest level, and you want to be positioned to experience life abundantly. We will go into all of this to really give you a step-by-step approach that will show you how to master yourself. We went on to look at many other facts. And then we concluded now by talking about the four pathways that you need to commit your time, talent, and resources to truly understand. And the pathways and the 4 degrees of influence to exercise influence over all aspects of your lives is documented in my book, Pathways of Influence, Timeless Processes to Build Wealth. We also talk about the wealth IQ and the wealth EQ. And you need to know this. Many of you, particularly those who are Christians, I know it because I live it. When you hear wealth, you close off. But I want to say this to you. Abraham was wealthy. And I want to show you the practical steps that Abraham used to position himself to become a massive landowner, to become a person who invested in livestock, to become a person who was blessed with silver and gold, to become a person who was blessed with servants and had an army of loyal supporters who wanted him to succeed. Vision Valley University is going to be taking data from historical facts. And we will also look at current realities. And what I want to say to you is that the information that we share with you has been tested time and time again, has been tried many times. And the only reason we are bringing this body of knowledge to you is because we have seen the results. So all you need to do is to come and open your minds and open your hearts to listen, to learn, to apply, and master and position yourself to build wealth. Now, wealth is not only money, but we will also position you to experience financial wealth in our community. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.